What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be going over a quick, easy, free way to do a Google Ads competitive analysis. So I've probably made videos on this topic in the past, but this has kind of been my process that I use. So if a new client reaches out, if I'm just looking for some information, related to competitive data, then generally this is the process that I'm going to be using. So let's just say, for example, a new client reaches out to me and they have an email marketing platform. So the very first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be searching that exact keyword. I'm going to be searching keywords related to exactly what they offer. And usually my clients will have, hey, here's a list of my competitors. But generally, I like to look at my own and I like to see, okay, who else lines up very closely in terms of, products they're selling, services that they're offering. So if you do a quick search for this is basically one of our top 5 to 10 keywords, you should find advertisements, and those are generally going to be your main competitors. You can look in the sponsored results. You can also look in the organic results just to see what some of the competitors are that are coming up. Generally, if they're ranking really high, they're probably a massive company like a MailChimp. But usually what you're trying to do is you're trying to find the closest competitor to you. So for this example, I'm going to be using Brevo.com. So I'm actually not familiar with Brevo.com, just saw this here. I think I've heard of them in the past, but no connection to Brevo.com. But let's just say I'm working with a client and they have identified Brevo.com as their number one competitor, or I have as well. How do we actually figure out what Brevo is doing on Google Ads? So in the past, I would use platforms like a SEMrush, like a SpyFu. I still use these platforms, but generally a little bit more on the organic side and just kind of the overall keyword data, just kind of looking at some of that data that they have there. And a lot of times I'm more interested in landing pages. I'm more interested in what their top pages are in terms of traffic. So generally, the paid data in these tools are inconsistent depending on what you're actually looking for, and they're not always very accurate. I have a client who's spending around 30 grand per month, and over the course of a year, they're generally over $250,000 in ad spend. If I look them up on SpyFu and SEMrush, they barely have any data about this client, and that's obviously a significant amount of spend. You should at least have a list of here are the top keywords. Generally, you're not getting very much from these tools. So this is kind of the new strategy that I've taken, and it kind of reflects the new way that Google Ads actually works. I'm going to take a quick break from my video to go over 2 different ways you can support Surfside PPC and also learn Google Ads in the process, or advertising in general. First is my community. So go to surfsideppc.com/community or school.com/surfsideppc. That's SKOOL.com/surfsideppc. This will bring you to my community. It's $3 a month or $25 a year. Come here, ask questions, answer questions. I'm looking to build the biggest and best ads community on the planet. Next is going to be my course. Go to surfsideppc.com/course and you can find my Google Ads course. This is a course. I'm going to release the 2025 version very shortly as of recording this video, and I will have that out for everybody. So if you do purchase this today, you will also get the 2025 course when that comes out. It'll all the lessons will go into the same page that you purchased to access. So let's get back to the video. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to identify exactly who my competitors are first. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through to their landing page. So if you hover over the link, you can actually get the landing page at the very bottom of the page here. So that's what I'm going to do so I don't waste, $15, $20, $30, whatever this click is going to cost them. So we have brevo.com/landing/email marketing service. So we have their homepage here, and then we have the actual landing page. So you can see the reason why I do this is I'm looking at what are they actually showing on their landing page. So very quick opt-in email marketing done right, sign up free, join 500,000 companies growing their business with email marketing. God, Brevo has that many customers, or are they just saying that many people do email marketing? So we have email marketing done right, image, join 500,000 customers across the world. So the very first thing I'm looking at is, what does their landing page look like? How are they selling themselves? Do they list pricing? Do they have testimonials? Do they have reviews? What do those look like? And generally what I'm trying to do is find ideas for my own landing pages. One of the very popular things to do is include other logos, even if it's not exactly, hey, these aren't our clients. These are tools that we integrate with. And if we come up to the top here, you're generally going to see join 500,000 customers around the world who use Brevo. So I guess they do have 500,000 customers. Features, minimal effort. So pretty good really good landing page. I mean, it's simple. It's easy to understand. It's intuitive. The only thing I would probably say is maybe another call to action somewhere throughout the page, but overall sign up, pretty obvious here. And really the main call to action, email address, sign up free. Clearly that's kind of the goal of this landing page, is sign up free. They haven't hidden everything else about Brevo through their website. So basically they're using this as a landing page. And now we have an idea of what their landing page looks like. You stay on there long enough, you might see a pop-up. So there's another thing to kind of take note of. So the very first thing I'm looking at is, what does the landing page look like? What is the opt-in? And then from there, I'll actually go through the process. So I entered my email address. So sign up for free. It brought me to this page. So it brought me right here. Kept my email address. They actually didn't email me automatically, and I had to actually wait until I created an account before they actually sent me an email. My assumption would be if I just filled out this form and didn't complete the next step, they probably have a follow-up within 24 hours. That would be my guess. Hey, you entered your email here. You forgot to sign up to Brevo. Sign up here. Now, one of the issues that they have that would probably be good for them to know, but I don't work with them, so not something I'm going to say, but their email actually went into my spam folder. So you could see spam here. It is my Brevo complete your registration email, and they want me to confirm my email address. I did that. That actually brought me here. Great. Now let's verify your email address. I guess that's after I signed. Okay, so after I signed up here, then we have great. Now let's verify your email address. I come down here and do that, and that brings me to this page. Let's start with the basics, going through an onboarding form. This is something I'm not going to complete all the way through for the purpose of this video. Don't want to create another account on another platform that I don't plan on using, but at this point, we have a good idea of, okay, what their landing page actually looks like, what their goal looks like on their landing page, like what their actual landing page flow is, kind of what their, I would say, funnel looks like. So they want the email address. I assume once you enter this sign up free, they're probably getting that email and they're putting that into some system where they're going to follow up with you. Once you do that, then they're going to say, okay, let's create your account. No credit card needed. You create your account, you get to the verification page. Okay, then you verify, you get to this page. I would assume every single step in this process is tracked. So you're tracking each of these steps as a conversion. Now, it's hard to know exactly what they're tracking as a conversion, but that would be my general guess in terms of how they're actually tracking this. When you get to a page like this, you're probably saying, okay, if this person got to this page and they clicked on a Google ad beforehand, then we know that we can count this as, even if you count it as a low value conversion. So that's the very first thing I start with is, what does the landing page look like? So we have an idea of that here. What is the goal of the landing page? And then where does that actually bring you when you actually fill everything out? So that's the very first thing that I'm looking at. Obviously, this is harder to see if you have companies where, they're selling physical products, but really that the flow is get people in, add to cart, begin checkout, purchase. And that's really the goal that you're going with there. So that's the very first thing that I do. The next thing that I generally do is I open up the Google Ads Transparency Center. So go to adstransparency.google.com. You could actually just enter this right here and just change the domain. But if you don't enter the domain, so we come in here, you can see the way this looks, ads transparency for a safe and open internet. So we're searching all topics, anytime shown in the United States, all platforms. So what we're going to do is we're just going to search Brevo. And generally you're going to get the actual URL here, so brevo.com. And now we can see all of their formats. We can see all ads, and you can see all of these different ads that they are running and some of the different examples of things they are most likely targeting. So here's the thing, that the way I kind of look at it, because it's a little difficult to really understand, like, okay, what are they actually targeting with this advertisement? My assumption would be something like this. You're targeting specifically CRM Suite, like you're targeting keywords like that. So look at the actual headlines, look at the actual description lines, and generally that's going to give you an idea of what they're actually targeting in terms of keywords. It's not generally how I do it. Like, I don't find keywords that way. But when you're really trying to figure out, like, okay, what are they actually targeting? This looks kind of like a branded ad. Send bulk emails instantly, probably related to people that are searching how to send bulk emails. This is basically just looks more like a branded. Sendinblue is now Brevo. So people that are probably searching Sendinblue, they have this advertisement. Email marketing, CRM. So the number one alternative, my guess would be this is some type of competitive ad. And if you're not sure if they're running competitive ads, then we scroll to the bottom and we see something like, I saw it earlier. There we go. Klaviyo versus Brevo, better than Klaviyo. Brevo used to be Sendinblue. So we kind of get an idea of what they're targeting, and basically email marketing, CRM, SMTP mail server. So that's probably another keyword that they're targeting. And we have a pretty good idea just looking at, so SMS solution, another keyword that they're targeting. Let's just say, for example, I'm just competing with Brevo on the email marketing side. This will make this video a little bit easier than saying, we're competing on, the Brevo SMS, we're competing on the CRM. It's like we are an email marketing company. Then generally what you want to do is you want to next go to So now we have an idea of what their ads actually look like and a somewhat of an idea of what they're targeting. If we scroll down here further, you can get even more information basically of what types of ads they're running. A lot of different ads here, but a lot of them are pretty similar. So better than mailgun. So you know they're probably targeting the keyword mailgun. And yeah, we have all of these here. So Brevo review. The other thing I look at sometimes are what types of ads that they're running. So if you see different ad formats, so this is still a text ad, but if you see different ad formats, especially things that are like video, you know, companies don't really run display all that much, but you could see here they're running video ads. So video ads, these may just be something that's inside of a Performance Max. Over here, we have what looks like kind of a display ad, a native type of ad. So they're running different ad formats. My guess would be a combination of search and Performance Max campaigns, potentially running things like demand gen. I don't know who runs display anymore, but maybe they're running display and video campaigns. So we have an idea of some of the different types of campaigns they're running. Although looking at this, obviously the majority of budget is spent in search. These are generally built by either display campaigns or Performance Max campaigns. So we have a good idea of what types of ads they are actually running here. It's a nice ad here. Number one alternative, free plan, unlimited contacts. Got a nice little image asset there. So kind of figure out what they're running, what their creative might look like. You could actually click on the videos and you could actually watch the video here. So you could actually see what types of videos they're running. Another thing that you can use as part of your competitive analysis. To me, all of this information is much more valuable than what SEMrush used to give you, where it's like, hey, here's the keywords they target, here's the landing pages they use. All of these are going to give me a pretty good idea of exactly what they're targeting, and I can easily figure out different types of landing pages that they're running by just literally searching Brevo, searching different types of keywords that I know they're targeting, finding some of their landing pages. One of the things you could potentially try is if they have, and I doubt they use this, but I've done this before. A lot of these companies don't use these and index them. They probably don't either. Yeah, so this whole section is probably just not indexed in Google, but there are ways to find other types of landing pages that they're running. And one of the easiest ways is just simply doing brand searches and looking for other things that you know they're targeting. So CRM Suite, okay, we found another Brevo ad, Brevo landing / products. So let's come back over here to our Brevo / landing / product. And we have grow with our email marketing and CRM Suite, sign up free, a little bit different in terms of no field here. So sending people to the actual register page, getting to the onboarding process. Obviously, I finished the last portion of it. So we come down here, very simple landing page, but 5 ways to work smarter, not harder: marketing, sales, conversations, customer data, messaging. Sometimes this is the easiest way to do it, is just keep it very simple and people can easily find, exactly what you do for them. The other thing I would probably recommend on a page like this is something more related to like a use case. Even if you just do one, like this is how we have helped company ABC with XYZ. So that's the one thing that I would probably recommend on a landing page like this. But let's get back to our competitive analysis. So we've kind of done at this point, we've looked at landing pages, we've looked at the funnel, we've looked at exactly what they're trying to do on their landing pages. And then from there, we've also looked at some of the advertisements by using the Google Ads Transparency Center. And we're getting an idea of the types of campaigns that they're running, the types of keywords that they're targeting. So send bulk emails instantly, probably related to bulk emails. So the next thing that you want to do, you want to come back over to Google Ads. We want to take brevo.com. We're just going to copy this here, come over to Google Ads, Tools, Keyword Planner. We're going to discover new keywords, start with a website. We're going to enter brevo.com. We're going to use the entire website and get results. Okay, and this is going to find us every single keyword that is relevant to Brevo based on Google, and they're going to be ranked by how relevant that keyword is. Okay, so you can see an idea of here are all the different keywords that we're targeting: average monthly searches, top of page, bid range, low and high range. Now, this number isn't overly important to me. Obviously, you want it to be at a certain level, but if this says 12,000 compared to 6,000 or, something like that, this number isn't as important to me as really what the bids are, especially when I'm first looking. So with average monthly searches, what I'm generally doing is I'm taking average monthly searches, going greater than or equal to 100. That will get rid of a lot of the keywords at the very bottom of the list that have 20, 10, or even 0 average monthly searches. Okay, 577 of 1,719 keyword ideas. should probably never be targeting 577 keywords in a Google Ads campaign, almost in a Google Ads account, unless you're doing all sorts of different things inside that account. Really narrow down your keyword list. So that's generally where I start. The next thing that I do first is I'd like to just look at, okay, out of these keywords getting over 100 average monthly searches, we're just going to rank them, high to low. And I just want to see what some of these keywords are on basically the top of page bid. I like looking at the low range more than the high range because the high range is always going to have a few outliers where we come down here and we see, okay, $1,000 and $14.95. Not something I would necessarily want to ever target, but clearly someone is bidding out of their minds on free trial Constant Contacts. People are bidding a lot on Constant Contact, and I highly doubt that is Constant Contact bidding on it. Probably a competitor, probably a MailChimp, but I don't know how this would ever be profitable, but that people are bidding that high. So I like to look at the low range because I think you just get a better picture of, okay, what is the threshold I'm probably going to have to bid if I do want to get clicks from this keyword, or at least very close to what the threshold is. And from there, the next thing I do is I'm looking at, okay, what do I plan on targeting with this company that I'm working with or company that I own, whatever it might be. What am I planning to target? I want to target keywords related to email marketing. So what we're going to do is we're going to search. And first, we're just going to say, okay, the keyword text must contain email. So we're just going to do email here, just cut out some of these things like marketing campaign software. Obviously, if I'm not doing that, that's not something that I want to target. Next, we get all of our keyword ideas. Now, if you really want to take this a step further, one of the things that I've done in the past is I've exported all of this data. We're down to 384 keywords now. Exported all this data and actually create like an average between these, and you get a little bit of a better number of like, okay, what's the average between these two values? Rank it that way. Look at the ranking by low range, look at the ranking by high range. Really what I'm looking for is to put together a keyword list of, okay, here are going to be my best keywords, and these are most likely the keywords that Brevo is bidding on. So the keywords that have the highest bid range usually represent value. People wouldn't target email marketing free trial and bid $30 to $90 on it if they didn't see a positive ROI. It would be just something that's not targeted. But obviously there are companies that see a positive ROI from this, or there are companies that are so focused on conversion volume that they're willing to overspend to drive additional customers. I do see that as something not the greatest strategy in the world because over time, you don't want to drive customers at a loss. So that's just the one thing that, you probably do have to spend a certain amount if you actually want to advertise for something like this. But ultimately what you're trying to do is drive good conversions profitably. So I'm generally next looking at any keywords that I can target here that would be keywords that would be relevant for what I offer. So email marketing, B2B lead generation, let's just say I offer something like that. Perfect. Email marketing send, probably related to sending bulk emails. That'd be my guess. I don't know, but take some of these different keywords here, email campaign services, enterprise. So if you're targeting enterprise, this is something you want to target. Email and SMS, again, something you could potentially target if that is something you offer. Let's just say we do, so we'll target this. Now, where you can take this and take it to the next step and really ultimately try to beat your competitors at the game of Google Ads is most of these companies. So if we come up here and we look at email marketing platforms, see Klaviyo, Brevo, Flowdesk, come to the top, we have some more up here, Braze, and we have Constant Contact. Clearly, maybe they are bidding that high because they're at the top of every search result I did here. All of these companies are bidding on this keyword in one way, shape, or form, whether it's broad match, phrase match, exact match, maybe a combination of those different keyword match types. There's an idea out there that you need to figure out every single keyword that these companies are targeting in order to replicate their strategy. That is incorrect. The way Google keyword matching works is that you could take a keyword like email marketing platforms, put it as a phrase or broad match keyword, and you're going to target hundreds, if not thousands of different search terms. So all sorts of different search terms, things that might not even be closely relevant to email marketing platforms. Phrase match does not match the phrase anymore. It matches basically the meaning of that keyword. So really what I would recommend doing is you want to have the best possible user experience for each of these keywords. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of energy. If we take something like email and SMS marketing platform, what I would want to do is I would want to create within my campaign, potentially an ad group focused on keywords related to email and SMS services. So you don't have to use single keyword ad groups. You could basically say, okay, I want to target email and SMS type of keywords. And what we're going to do is we're going to put together an ad group for that. we are going to create a dedicated landing page on our website with email marketing and SMS done right, working together, whatever, however you want to phrase it. So however you want to put your headline there. And we're going to create a landing page that very closely aligns with this. We're going to create ads that very closely align with this. And we're going to create a funnel that actually drives customers in and drives conversions. What's going to happen over time is you are going to get a strong quality score for this keyword. And with that strong quality score comes more consistency. So creating that relevant path for this keyword, rather than saying, okay, we're going to take all of these 384 keywords, we're going to copy them, we're going to paste them, and we're going to target every single one. That is not what you want to do. You want to find the keywords that are going to be the best for your business. So this is really where you need to use your head and your brain and say, is this keyword the right search intent for what I am trying to accomplish? If you're not sure, and there's going to be times where you're not sure, is you're going to take a keyword like email marketing send. We're going to come over here and we're going to search email marketing send. And we're going to say, okay, what actually comes up here? Send unlimited bulk emails. Okay. Email marketing platform for personalized email campaigns, easily build email campaigns, send emails that convert. So clearly this is just related to, in general, email marketing platforms. You also have things like send automated email campaigns. You could see how well these companies are managed with their Google ads. Send better marketing email. Perfect. Send automated email campaigns. Perfect. Vagaro email marketing. Honestly, that's perfectly fine. Not the end of the world. Come up to the top here. Send emails that convert. And all the way to the top here, send unlimited bulk emails. The reason they are probably featured here, and maybe they pay slightly less than their competitors, is they have landing pages designed for these exact keywords. So that's ultimately what you're trying to do, is create really good experiences for your customers. You don't necessarily have to create a separate landing page for every single keyword here. But if you're targeting very expensive keywords, and I would consider these very expensive, and you are trying to actually drive consistent results, you need to do landing page testing. You need to focus on these keywords that are high intent, that are the best keywords for you. You could put both of these in the same ad group. So take all of your keywords that include send, email marketing send marketing emails, however you want to do it. And that's ultimately how you're going to design your campaign. But this is kind of my quick and easy way to do a competitive analysis. I'm going to create a longer version of this video that really goes, kind of puts together a full document for a single competitor. I wanted to use this as more of a, here's a quick and easy way to do this. I probably still rambled way too long. I'll probably do a video on this that's like 5 minutes, just a quick get through everything. But really, to kind of recap everything, it's do a search, find competitors that way. That's probably the best way to find searches or find competitors. You could obviously see here a bunch of different competitors. You may compete with some of these on a single service like a HubSpot, but they also offer, 10 different services beyond what you're competing with them with. So that's where when you start to use things like the keyword planner, you really want to try to find competitors that are the most closely aligned with you. So if I'm, a Google Ads agency, I don't want to compare myself to, the biggest marketing agency on the planet. I want to compare myself to other similar Google Ads agencies. Like, you really want to keep it as toned down as possible so that you're not targeting all of these different things. Use keyword filters to kind of narrow down exactly what you're targeting, and use average monthly searches to make sure you don't have just, every single possible keyword that you can target there. So we have our keywords that we can target. What I would generally do in this step is I'm going to take all of the keywords I want to target. I'm going to take saved keywords. I'm going to add them to create a plan. Now, obviously, you're going to want to do more than this. Programs, software, platforms, AI tools is one of those. If you have it, target it. And, this is another one where you probably want to create a page that goes over how your platform actually uses AI. Email marketing for small business. All of these average monthly searches would warrant a unique landing page, something like best email marketing service, email sending platforms, send email platforms, email marketing platforms, things you could potentially put all into the same landing page boat. But ultimately what you're trying to do is you're trying to get your clicks down to this level, because if you can drive clicks at $14 per click for email sending platforms, and you have a high enough conversion rate, it should be pretty easy to have a positive ROI from that keyword, as long as those conversions are turning into actual customers, actual revenue. And that's, another thing you want to track along the way. So this is my quick and easy competitive analysis. I have a good idea of, what Brevo's ads look like at this point. I have a good idea of what Brevo's landing page looks like. I'll look at their overall what is the goal of the landing page, how are they actually converting people into customers, and then I'm going to be looking at what are the keywords they are most likely targeting, what do the bids look like for those keywords, and if you really want to take it a step further, you could always do something like take one of these keywords. If you're like, I'm not sure, how people are actually targeting this keyword, email and SMS marketing platform, maybe we find a Brevo ad. We did. Okay, so this is landing, and this one is actually bulk email. So probably not the exact landing page they want to use, not the end of the world. We've now found 3 of their landing pages. So I've actually done this with competitors where I've built lists of their landing pages and then send them to my clients. I'm like, here are what all of theirs look like. You could see in this example, they actually removed the header. So this is a standalone landing page on their website. So a little bit different. Similar design overall to the other one. And yeah, probably just another test landing page. So best value bulk email software. This actually came through the SMS. This is probably just Google in general just doing this. But you can start looking at other types of landing pages here. So Constant Contact, landing 1, features SMS. And we look at another landing page for Constant Contact. And now we have another competitor that we can start to go through. So look at their landing pages, look at how they are actually getting people to sign up with everything, look at their overall flow, in terms of what does a landing page look like, what are they actually doing with their landing pages, what does their funnel look like, what do their ads look like, so put Constant Contact in here, what are the keywords they are most likely targeting, what are the costs for those keywords. Beyond that, there's not too much more inside of a Google Ads account. I mean, obviously the campaign structure is going to be something you just don't see. So this is where your expertise comes into play and say, okay, well, I'm just going to create a structure that's better than theirs. I'm going to create landing pages that are better than theirs. My ads will probably look somewhat similar, but we'll do some testing and try to improve those as much as we can. And we will continue to optimize until we actually see the results we're looking for. So if you have any questions about any of this, please leave them in the comment section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.